Okay, here's my 3 Jakiper batteries. Here's the charge controller. I just set the charge controller. Well, I'll show you.
Use arrow keys to navigate.
The charge
The default
voltage
is set for most flooded lead acid batteries.
for absorb
you can
is
adjust
set
it
to
for other types or to
55.2.
exactly match your battery.
Ignore that person talking. And I just
Press
set
the status button to see additional status screens.
You can limit the charge current on this, which you have to do manually. It won't do it automatically. So I saw the voltage rising. See, it says 99% full. Corresponds pretty well with this.
9.4.
Anyway,
Power is 300 watts.
hopefully we can see this okay.
Voltage is 54.
Wish the charge controller would shut up.
Battery current
Anyway, we can see 100%.
energy production is
Battery 1.
6 kilowatt
Now it's battery 2.
Charging status has changed to full.
Start up battery 1. Says 100%. And if you look here, the remaining capacity, I switched it over real quickly to, and we see the charge voltage. Pack voltage is rising some. Oh, no current. Let's see. What it does is, this one doesn't have any current either. And it shows that's battery pack 2. It says 100% full. Although this isn't quite up. Almost there, but not quite up to there. Let's go to battery pack number 3. See, battery pack number 3. Oh yeah, that's full too. Okay, well I saw that the charge, or the voltage starting to rise above the 52.2, or above the, I shouldn't say that. It started rising up towards the 55.2 that I have set. So that means they're full. Now you can see this is giving some current now. Battery pack 3. What it's going to do is it turns on and off because they're all interconnected. So I will go to battery pack 1. See, there's no current in this one. A little bit. There's a little bit of current. It's going to kind of regulate them. This battery pack 2. Okay, so this should be slowly rising towards its 55.2 that I have set on the charge controller, and it'll kind of keep all these 3 voltages the same. That's, I think, what they call the smart charging, is when they're interconnected it keeps all the packs about the same. So it will, the BMS will turn the current on or off from what I've observed until the other packs catch up, if they're going slower or faster. Anyway, so what I did on the charge controller was, it was giving a lot more current. I want it to come up really slowly so that it can have a chance to balance. So I have it regulated to about 3 amps total, which corresponds to this, about 1 amp per pack. I'm switching. There's pack 2. Pack 3. What I want is, I want them to balance, because let's see here. See, I got a 40. This is pack 1. There's a 40 millivolt difference between the higher and lower one. Now my pack 2 is the worst. I will go to pack 2. This is the one where cell 9 and cell 12, I think, or cell 14 are always a lot higher. And you can see the voltage difference is higher here too. Now when they get to 3.5, when the highest one gets to 3.5, the balancing's going to turn on and show. It'll show BL next to here. And but by going really slowly here, I'm hoping that it will balance, because I can't put like 2 or 3 or 4 amps in there in each one now, because the balancing resistors in this BMS can't handle it. It can't take it. You know, it won't dissipate enough power to let them balance. So what happens is it goes up, and the whole battery pack, the high cells go up. It brings the voltage, the total voltage up real fast, and then the BMS just shuts the current off, and it won't balance the cells because the whole thing's off. It says, oh, we're up high enough. And so by going really slowly with a smaller current, I'm hoping that it gives the cells a chance to balance. But that's difficult to do. I've had to do this manually. And so anyway, you can see. So I'm going to let these come up really slowly. See, it's still rising, the voltage difference. Just going really slowly now. If I was to put full current in there, it'd go real fast. And this is probably coming up. The high one's going to come up faster than the low ones. Yep, see, it went up from 52 to 53. So I'll check back. It's going to take a while, but what I want it to do is when it gets to 3.5, the balancing will go on. And what you want it to do is bleed off the high cell, which is, I know on this pack is 9 and 15, I think. I want it to bleed off those and let these lower cells come up so they get balanced. But it will only balance when this voltage is increasing, like when the total voltage is increasing. Once this stops increasing, the balancing goes off. Or once the current goes to 0, the balancing goes off. So that's why this BMS is, I don't even know if it's possible to balance maybe for a real long term, real slow, real low current in, but this BMS is going to be real difficult to balance. Take a couple high cells like are in this pack here and balance them, maybe over time. You can see I only have 10 cycles on this. Now Jakiper recommends that you set the top for 30 cycles. It says run this, set your charge controller to 56. But when I've done that, these high ones, this high one will jump up to like 3.8. I saw it go up to 4 once before it shut off. The BMS shut off. So, and it'll be like 300 or 400 millivolt difference, which isn't what we want. And that's at 56 volts like they recommended. And they say do that for 30 cycles. Well, is it magically going to balance the cells? I don't know. But what I'm doing is I'm lowering the top voltage, lowering the current to see what will happen. Now, when it goes super high like that, you get over voltage. It'll show overvolt on the cell. And if it shows OVP, that means over voltage protection, and it shuts the whole pack off, or the whole battery pack off. And then the other 2 packs would still be on. It would just shut off this pack. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's sort of disappointing that you get a battery pack and I don't know how many people watch it as much as I have been. Some other people do. But I mean, you'd hope the cells would be not so out of whack, and they aren't as out of whack on some of these other packs, but there's still a lot of them out of whack. I mean, you want them to be balanced, and to really do it right, you'd have to open up that pack and manually balance those cells, like put a resistor on them or use a better BMS with active balancing. Active, it'll do higher current. And I don't know what the current rating is that it'll shunt off on this BMS. It doesn't seem like very much, because Ed, who's on the group, has said he put it on a regulated power supply, and I think he was putting like 0.6 amps in it, and the high cells were still rising. See, we're getting up there now. It's just coming up real slowly. And I don't know if my battery charger will go any slower. You know, any lower than this. I could try that and see if I can turn it down even more, but I think it seems to have a minimum of about 3 amps that I can regulate. And most, of course, most charge controllers, at least the older ones like I have, won't do any current regulation like this. What it's doing is it's regulating the current to the battery, but it's still letting full current to my loads. That's what most charge controllers would not let you do. You could maybe turn the full current down, but that would turn the current down to the loads too. So I do have some loads on here now. This one's, see, it's going on and off as it rises up. This goes on and off as it's keeping pace with these other voltages. Damn, 117 voltage difference on this now. And this pack, this is my best one. It's only there about 74. What's number 1? 178. See, number 2 is the one. Number 2 pack here is the one that's the most out of balance. It shows 0.86 current on 2. Let's see what it says for 1. 0.72. I guess maybe that's a function of the batteries. Maybe this pack 3 maybe not accepting as much in there because they're full. And how close are we? Let's go to pack 2. That's the first one that okay, so this is almost up to 3.5. See? Now we're going to go to 3.5. There we go. Now 3.501, there goes the balancing right there. Now theoretically, when that should stop rising, this high cell. Okay. See, no current to turn the balancing off. Here's our voltage. As soon as the voltage starts rising, there it goes. It goes back on. Theoretically, it will be able to shunt off the current on the high cells and let these low ones come back up. But what we've noticed is that, see, it keeps going up. And I only have 1 amp coming in. So we want this to stay steady or go down so these lower cells, like this one, can come up and balance, but it won't do it. It goes off whenever the current goes off. If this balancing would stay on now, when there's no current, it would give it a chance to do it. But whatever, this BMS is programmed, so that won't happen. So you can see there's no charging. When this charges here, this charging indicator will go on. Now it's holding steady. Let's see what the other packs are doing. Go to pack 1. Pack 1 doesn't have anything up close to 3.5 yet. Pack 3, that's not up to close to 3.5. See, they're 82. It's mainly this pack 2 that has the big imbalance, 136. Now, if I was to just put this back up to the recommended 56, like they said, this would jump way up fast, and really fast. There'd be a huge imbalance, and then it'd shut off, so it doesn't do anything to help balance. I don't know if it's just going to sit here now. Just kind of holding here at 54.952. Let me look at my controller, see what the voltage on that says, because you got to calibrate. 55. Shows 55. It's in absorb mode, which I'm not sure why, because Yeah, see, there's a voltage. It's a little bit off. That charge controller doesn't have sense cables, and you have to calibrate. You can't get the precision of this on the charge controller. It doesn't go to more than one digit. There, it turned on. It's charging up a little more. And the balance light comes on, just like I said, these two high cells. But they continue to go up. There's only 0.8 amps going in there. The balancing went off. We need the balancing to stay on for a while. But there's no way to do this. Maybe if you could get in the internal programming of the BMS, which they don't let you do, they don't give you any ability to do that, you could tweak it and change some of the parameters in there to change some of those timings and do it. But with what we have here, we can't change anything except for we can change the inverter protocol for the RS-45 connectors on the battery. Anyway, that's about it. You know, maybe that's the right thing to leave it. It shows, according to them, it shows all these full. Let's look at one. Battery pack 1 says full. Battery pack 3 shows full. So is that it? 55 is what maybe we should set it for. Why go way up to why go way up? But you know, how does it calculate that when these are all look at a difference, 33.98. You know, are all these cells full? Or is it just the other cells? Are they going by voltage, calculating the amp hour capacity? Or are they going by counting? Is there a sensor in there that actually counts the amp hours coming in? Maybe Jakiper could explain, I don't know. Now the counter on this has its own independent amp hour. It'll show it in a second here. See, it shows 100% full. It's pretty accurate, although the 3 batteries, this will follow the highest battery instead of the other ones could be like 99%. And I think I have 1% inefficiency, you know, 99% efficiency on this. This has a shunt in it, so it's pretty accurate, but isn't maybe as accurate as these ones built in the batteries. I don't know. Who knows how they work. I mean, they show them out to milliamp hours, so you'd think they'd be pretty accurate. But they didn't get up to, they're not accepting any more power, really. $54.985, 55.1. Yeah, that's pretty close. And I have this set for 55.2. So that seems for this kind of battery, for these old ones. Look at the rated voltage. That's the rated voltage, 51.2. They don't have the charging current on here. I could show you in the book though what they say. Of course, it's a lot higher than that. Here's the Jakiper book that came with it. Let's see what they say. Here we go. Here's the nominal voltage, capacity, energy, resistance, self-discharge, 16 cells, recommended charge current, recommended charge voltage, 57.6. That's really high. If I did that, those would all shut down from over voltage protection, or cells would go over voltage. Balancing voltage 54.4. I don't know. It won't. It might start balancing at 54.4 if only if one of these cells gets to 3.5. But that's only when the voltage is rising. So, I mean, that would be nice if that's what it did. I don't know. 54.4. It's not balancing then, unless these get above 3.5. Anyway, let's go to pack 2. The charging is done, they're full. I have a little disparity between this voltage and the charge controller. See, it's just sitting above 3.5. 171 difference. There's no way to balance it. There's just no way. Unless that balancing turned on and would bleed off some of those so the other ones could catch up. But this BMS just doesn't want to do it. That's my my thing. Maybe if I set it down to like 1 amp between all 3 packs or something, and then it would take hours to fill up. I'll have to see how low my charge controller will do, but I don't know. I guess if you keep it down, you know, to a lower voltage, and you never get close to this, what they say. Oh my gosh. Don't ever get to this recommended charge voltage. You know, then it's okay. None of them are going to go too high. Because it says it's full. This one's 3.5. Even though this one's higher than all the rest, they're not balanced. It's still below 3.65. So there you go. That's my, from watching this closely for a while, that's what I come conclusion. I hope this can help someone.